Anybody who is willing to pick up a gun to settle a dispute that they have with another person is taking a risk, but it's a risk they're not bothered about. The murder of Olivia has had a devastating impact on her family. I simply can't imagine the pain that they're going through every day, and I offer my sincere condolences to Olivia's family. But I would also like to pay tribute and pass my thanks on to the SIO, Mark Baker, and all of his team, and the Crown Prosecution Service for all the work that they've done over the past 6 months to make sure that we've brought the person responsible for Olivia's murder, Thomas Cashman, to justice. I know that will never bring Olivia back, but hopefully the family will get some small comfort in knowing the person that took their daughter away from them is now behind bars. I think the communities of Merseyside should be incredibly proud of themselves in terms of their response to the murder of Olivia. The way in which people came forward, the way in which people gave evidence, I think demonstrated to the whole country the strength in the communities of Merseyside. I was incredibly proud of the way we stood together as communities, as policing and partners to say we absolutely will not tolerate serious and organised crime and the use of firearms on the streets of Merseyside, and we were overwhelmed with the amount of intelligence and the way in which people came forward. There are live investigations still ongoing, so the conviction of Thomas Cashman in terms of the murder of Olivia is a positive, but we are still hunting down those people who enabled that murder to take place, who supplied the gun, where the gun is, and we will carry on until we identify those people responsible. You know, we do know that there are firearms on the streets of Merseyside, but I think the work that we've done over the past 20 years to tackle that problem, we are seeing the lowest number of firearms discharges over the past 20 years. However, recognise that we've had five people who've been murdered using guns. But we are absolutely relentless in our pursuit of those people who are willing to pick up a gun to settle their disputes or to enable their criminal activity. We've got dedicated resources invested in investigating every single firearms discharge. We've got resources dedicating within our firearms unit, within our local policing teams, who are committed to carrying out proactive operations. We saw in the days after Olivia's murder, we arrested 420 people. We executed 98 warrants. We identified and secured and located 11 firearms. That work will continue. But I think the important thing to say is, as well as that relentless pursuit of those criminals who operate in that serious and organised crime world, is the prevention, that preventative approach. So starting off with educating our young people, their parents, their carers, around how people can start to be exploited by those gang members. So looking for the signs, working with our partners, working with education. So I think we are seeing the impact of those weapons on the streets of Merseyside. We know that they've been used 8 times over the past 2 years. But there is also really positive work ongoing. In Merseyside alone, we've seized 5 Scorpion-type firearms in the past 2 years. This is a UK-wide problem. We are working really closely with the National Crime Agency to identify how those weapons entered the UK, who has got possession of them, and identifying where they are and recovering them. So that work between the National Crime Agency and the Regional Organised Crime Unit is absolutely critical to tackling the type of weaponry we're seeing currently on the streets of Merseyside. But that reckless attitude, anybody who picks up a firearm, irrespective of the type of the weapon, is completely reckless. I would say they're absolutely cowardly, despicable people. Anybody who is willing to pick up a gun to settle a dispute that they have with another person is taking a risk, but it's a risk they're not bothered about. They don't care about the consequences. They don't care that a family has lost a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, a partner. They're just not bothered. They don't care about the consequences. they're not members of the people that we want living in our communities.